everybody. We're back again. It's been a pretty good run of fixtures. I'm not gonna lie. And weather is never an easy place to go to. Let alone get all 3 points and get out. I guess our team did a brilliant job.
In the second half, yeah.
Primarily game management was phenomenal. It's very pleasing to watch that we see out games comfortably, and usually Real Madrid does it the hard way, um, just taking it to the wire. But yesterday, even though we had some iffy moments, especially in the first half, which was again down to bad pressing, in my opinion, but still we got away with it. Our defenders were phenomenal. Militao and Alava looked the part. I haven't seen a better game by the pairing in the season. Yesterday they were just monumental to how we got away with the clean sheet.
Mo, is it just me or is like Sunaid kind of sad that we won the game?
You would say that, huh?
I'm not sad. I'm just
He's
being
like,
diplomatic.
he's saying, okay, it's interesting, I'm happy, but like you're kind of seeing like there's no emotion there. At least now he's smiling.
It's because since I'm the host, I have to be a little more neutral. Like I can't be jumping up and around, and we shouldn't be either. That's what I want to tell you guys. Like we shouldn't be either, because you saw what happened during the first 20 games. Benzema pulled up and like he had to come off. Which
I think to Farouk's point, actually, I am happy about the fact that we won, against Real Sociedad. The best thing is that I think this was our 8th win on the trot. So the even better thing was like Jovic finally scored.
That's it,
it did a lot of good to that guy's confidence.
To be honest, like the second half without Benzema and that second half without Benzema, that's the fun about it. That's the interesting thing,
Yeah.
Okay, obviously, I'm not saying obviously Jovic is the second coming of Cristiano, obviously, no, but like it was that, like the guy was literally in the game. He was there. He was there.
Yeah, the thing is like with Luka Jovic, I think before the point I was trying to make was like we had some really good things, especially with Militao's improved form and the fact that we were finally able to defend crosses and corners and set pieces. But it came with the sad stuff. I think maybe Suned is feeling a little bit down because he's missing Benzema from the field. So that could be the reason. I think Benzema's injury is a bigger story than we think. But I was happy for Jovic because when he came on, I did not expect much from him. But in the second half, like he kind of proved me wrong. I won't say he proved me wrong. I would rather say that he did something that I did not expect him to do.
Yeah, he surprised you, I guess.
Yeah, he surprised me. So I think overall, I'm pretty happy. 3 points. We go on, I guess. And winning against La Real is always a happy occasion.
So like, be happy, man. Be happy. You won with a win, man.
I'm happy. Probably why I might be a little under the weather. It's because remember, Farouk, how me and Nodo used to take turns to slaughter Jovic. Unfortunately, we can't do that today. Like I'm lacking the strength of being served humble pies by our players, and it's so satisfying because we, at the end of the day, we all want them to do well. Like we have nothing against them, we have nothing personal against them. We just want them to succeed. And yesterday, I saw a man who came on looking rusty, came on looking, nowhere near match fit, trying to do something, trying to ignite something out of nothing, and eventually his persistence paid off. The way he held up the ball for the first goal, like classic number 9 stuff. People often, including me and our panel, often overlook that due to how the modern game portrays like strikers, we very much overlook the hold-up play. how much of a part it is. Like even though Benzema does it to a good extent, he isn't exactly your Van Nistelrooy or your the classic like tall, lanky center forward. But Jovic did some things like that yesterday that helped us keep the ball, like find players in open spaces, move the ball between the front three. So yeah, big ups to him, man. Like
I think to your point, Sunaid, I think the thing is like our perception, not just as fans of Real Madrid, but as fans of La Liga, it sort of has changed because of the kind of strikers that La Liga has had in the last 10 years. If you look at Benzema is a guy who's very dynamic, and he's very good with the ball at his feet, outside and inside the box. And then it's just not Real Madrid. If you look outside of Real Madrid, even Barcelona, they had Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez is also a very dynamic striker. At least he was in his prime. He was good with the ball at his feet. He could play on either wings or even through the center. Both of them can hold up the play and do everything that a modern striker should be doing in the present way the game is played. And I think we often fail to recognize how great these players are because they are overshadowed by the likes of Messi and Ronaldo. But the strikers like Suarez and Benzema are very rare. And I think it's really tough to see players of that mold coming through again. Even if you look around, it's like the likes of Lewandowski, they have a different play style. They're not exactly like Benzema.
Lewandowski is more of a classic number 9.
Yeah. So I think, and when you look around at the up and coming guys, people like, let's say Erling Haaland, these guys are more in the mold of classic nines than players like Benzema and Suarez. And there's a certain joy to watching how Benzema and Suarez play the game because they're very good on the ball. They can hold the play when there's a need. They can switch to the wings. They can create spaces, and I think these players are very special. And I think Jovic, to a certain extent, has been suffering because people have different expectations from strikers these days, especially Madrid fans.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think rather than focusing on Jovic or lack thereof, I think it's the point Sunaid made earlier. It's like the Militao Alaba partnership literally came to life this game.
Yeah.
Like they were like, I don't know, they were like literally especially Militao. Like he was just popping up here and there, left and right, center back. He was like, yeah, this is what we've been looking for.
Did you see that compilation that ESPN made for Militao?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Actually, they showed it after the game, actually.
Yeah, I wish if we could run that compilation for Ale Moreno every day on ESPN FC because that guy always says Militao is a defender who has one mistake in him, and Militao yesterday it was kind of like spotless.
Actually, yesterday Ale Moreno was also the commentator for the game.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. But it's like Militao really to quote it served him a humble pie yesterday. Not that Ale Moreno needs any more pies, but I think Militao really shut up his doubters with his performance yesterday.
Actually, when I was watching the game, I think in the 16th minute when Benzema pulled the muscle, and I was like, yeah, this is just what we talked about. It was like we predicted this.
Yeah.
Like we literally talked about this just before the game, and really it's unfortunate, because the point is, I think we've been here before. Like, if you guys could recall, like in the quarterfinals against Juventus, I think in 2015, right? We played with Chicharito. We played with I can't recall, but I know like we played like just even I think with Arbeloa and so on and so forth. Even then when Carvajal was there, because why? Benzema was out. Like everyone literally was out because why? They overplayed. It's muscle injuries over and over again. And like, what do we expect? Like this is the thing actually. Although like I felt like I know I said that it's maybe was logical from Carlo to think, okay, like I have a heavy fixture list, get through the fixtures with my best 11 possible, and eventually then start to rotate with the lesser guys, because then most likely you're like 15 points clear, and then you're good to go. Even if you lose 3 matches, you're still at the top and nothing to lose, you understand? But you just feel like then it happens and you see like Modric is still playing 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And Vinicius is still playing 90 minutes. Okay, like Vinicius is young and whatever, but like why is Modric playing 90 minutes? And we talked about this, like Cruz has retired from international football, so maybe he's even more fresher than Modric, And like, why was he playing 90 minutes? Because to be honest, like Modric is old and he doesn't have the legs anymore, but he's still the best midfielder in La Liga. That's just it. He's still the best midfielder in La Liga, whether you want it or not.
Sometimes when we start emphasizing Modric's age, I start thinking of him like he's 60 or something. But I think you're making a good point. The only explanation that I can think of for Carlo leaving Modric on was maybe that he's not going to start him against Inter. Maybe Fede starts, but I think that's asking for too much, is it?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I would not be surprised if I see Modric against Inter as well.
I wouldn't be surprised. We should take the chance because we just need a draw. If I'm not mistaken, to go first. So
yeah, just a draw is enough for us.
Just a draw is enough.
We should definitely be benching Kroos and Modric if it allows us to do it, and let them like if shit hits the fan, let them come on like after 60 or something,
Well, the guys, actually, what I feel now is that okay, shit hits the fan, but the point is you can even defeat Inter and face Paris Saint-Germain. Then what's the point?
Okay, for me, the question of rotation is an interesting one. Okay, I have agreed that our midfield needs rotation, especially Modric, because for the past 2 times I've been predicting that Carlo will finally give Modric a rest and start Fede, but it has not happened. So, anyways, but I think the issue here is like the guy who got injured was Benzema, and I think neither of one of us would have said that let's rest Benzema for Jovic, So it's like even if rotation had happened, we wouldn't
happen. Yeah,
to that position.
In a realistic world, where we have ample backup, like I would want Benzema to rest here and there, like especially midweek games, especially like not away to Sociedad, no, but your games like Mallorca, Granada, and stuff like those. He can just take a day off, and we should be looking towards giving these guys rest, man. Like I don't know how they can.
I think the most important thing to highlight here is like the drop off between Benzema and Jovic is just too big, and especially Jovic being short of confidence. I think Jovic has really not settled in La Liga, so I think that has bred a hesitation in Carlo and Zidane before him to trust him and to take Benzema off. I think today I was reading that Real Madrid, they plan to send Jovic out again, maybe on loan or a transfer. But let's see how he does in the coming games, because I'm pretty sure he's going to start against Inter, and maybe that can help him. But overall, I think probably that if it doesn't work out with Jovic, maybe we should be looking at bringing Raul de Thomas back.
RDT, no, man. Like I think the point is this: like it's very difficult to compete with Karim Benzema because you can check in the teams who have top strikers, even Lewandowski, who is the backup at Bayern Munich.
The thing is like
Division 2 of England. Eric Choupo-Moting, So like the point is like when you check all the top strikers, even Barcelona when Suarez was there, when Eto'o was there, when Henry was there, like it's difficult to find like a good replacement. I don't know how can I say it, like someone who's going to be adequate, because you pointed out just now like the gap between Benzema and Jovic is so huge that you can't compensate for that.
But that's the reason I was mentioning it in our group yesterday. No matter what it takes, no matter who we have to deal with, like even if it's Holland's dad, Holland's pet dog, I don't care. We need to get him, and we need to get him in next year before someone else gets him, because Mbappe is already home. Like I think it's a non-point. So like as of now, he is already in Madrid. But Holland will be a big statement, and honestly, that would make me believe we are on the way back again to where we were, the 3P team.
But then let me ask you guys this: like, I'm Holland now. Why do I go to Madrid that has Mbappe?
Because the best player.
Let me just finish, right? When I can easily go to United or City and be the top dog there and still win things.
Being top dog in United City is not the same as being part of the greatest team in the world, and
Man,
being one of the top dogs in
to be
Madrid.
honest, like eventually, like although football is a team sport, eventually it comes down to everyone's like how can I say your personal ambition. And I believe as a footballer, you want to be recognized as the best in your I don't know in your position in your profession or whatever it is. What happens now? It's gonna be the same story with like the Paris guys with Mbappe and Neymar. And then if Paris wins the what's it called, the Champions League, and then who wins the Ballon d'Or? And people start to contemplate, oh, maybe it's Neymar, maybe it's Mbappe, maybe it's Messi. But if only Mbappe was at PSG, for sure he's the undisputed guy, even if it was shit in the tournament. You get my point? So now it now becomes like you share the spotlight with these guys, and like this guy is like maybe just 2 years older than you. Like you're not like you're literally like in the peak of your career at the same point in time. So that's why I feel like maybe it's too far-fetched to want Haaland at this point in time. Maybe at a later point, if he goes to like United, he goes to Premier League and he tears it up, and then he eventually joins Real. I don't know.
For me, the like I read Sunay's assertion yesterday in the group. For me, the question is like, why would Erling Haaland come and join Real Madrid when Karim Benzema is in the top of his form? It's like it's not even Mbappe. For me, his main competition is Karim Benzema. And let's be honest, displacing Karim Benzema is not easy.
Nah, the point is that you're not buying Haaland to, how can I say, like Benzema is 33, right?
No, it's like okay, let's look at the 2016-17 Real Madrid team. The thing is like we had world-class players on the bench that season. But the thing is like the most that you can do is one season with that. Right now, Erling Haaland is like even if he loses one season, he loses a season of his development. So for me, it's really tough to see him come to compete for a spot with Benzema. Unless Benzema's form drastically decreases. The reason I sort of pushed Raul de Thomas as a replacement if Jovic leaves, a replacement for Jovic. The thing is like, if you guys remember 2014-15 season, like Farouk just pointed out, we had Chicharito coming off the bench. Chicharito is somebody who could make an impact off the bench. He had this ability to knock in goals, and I think Raul de Thomas has shown that ability. So I think off the bench he can make an impact. And he can also start games and score because he has shown that ability, inside the box. So I think if we look at somebody like Raul de Thomas to get in January and maybe send Jovic out or maybe sell him, I think that would be a good thing. But if Jovic balls out in the upcoming games, I think then maybe we should just stick to things as they are. And in the summer, I think Erling Haaland will be an option, of course. I think Florentino will try and sign him. I think what remains to be seen is if Erling Haaland is willing to compete with Benzema for a spot.
Let me tell you guys something. We can't depend on Benzema forever. Like he's
that's true. But the thing is, like
we want him to play until he retires at Real Madrid, but that won't realistically happen. You know that very well. Like if he has a steep decline in form, we have no other option.
But the thing for me is like Benzema is not going to accept being number 2 behind Haaland. The question is Haaland willing to compete with Benzema, especially seeing how things went down with Jovic?
Benzema is the most team-oriented player, I think, in Real Madrid. Like he took pay cut.
He did an interview with ESPN, like I think in October, and he said that there's no player in the world whom I'm willing to be second to. There's no player in the world who I'm willing to be a sub to.
Nobody needs to be second to anyone, man. Like I think from a team perspective, they should put their egos aside. I think if Carlo and the people and management, and especially Perez, can manage to bring these guys together and tell them, if you guys like keep your egos aside, work for the team. If Benzema is playing shit, bring him off at 60, send Holland in. We score a goal, we win the game, move on.
Maybe Benzema can accept coming off at 60, but will Haaland accept coming on at 60th minute and not starting games?
What made them do that, man? The greater players have played together at Real Madrid, greater than these both can ever.
I think the point Mo is trying to make here is that Haaland is like still young, like he hasn't achieved anything. Like Mo talked about his development. So now, literally, when he starts coming off the bench at 60, it's stunting his development. Imagine he's playing 90 minutes week in, week out. It makes him grow into the sport.
We miss out on next year. We have no chance.
He's young, Actually, that's a very. But I think, to be honest, like we can play both Benzema and Haaland together. But the point also I was gonna say is that like Sonny was talking about Carlo. I think most likely Carlo would not be the guy to usher these people in. Carlo is old for this guy, to be honest. Like he's too old for this young set of players. Like we need to usher the young kids in with a younger coach, to be honest. That's my own personal opinion. Anyways, but I just feel like, Benzema is gonna, like, I think 2 seasons max. He's gonna play 2 seasons max. And we know, like, when the players come, it's not easy to adapt. Someone as
generation as Holland would have established somewhere else, and I don't think he'll be moving to Madrid after that. I don't see that. Like, imagine he establishes himself in City or Liverpool.
The thing is, like, the Real Madrid fan in me says, like, we should sign Haaland in by hook or crook in the next summer. But the pragmatist in me is like, why would Haaland sign on to be competing with Benzema?
It is down to the club to convince him.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. I agree on that point.
Yeah.
Just let's go back to Luka Jovic for a moment. We have been discussing replacements for him, but I think the dude deserves a lot of praise for his performance yesterday.
You spoke about Chicharito like in 2015, right? So what I want to point out is that, like, Chicharito has done it at the highest level. I feel like we need a sub who has that much experience at the high level football. And RDT has just played for, how can I say, like, with all due respect to the Espanyol and all the teams he's played, like mid-table, like, I don't know, even relegation threatening teams, man. So, like, will he be able to handle, because the point is, to be honest, you said something that, although I don't agree with it, like you said, we had world-class players in the bench in the year 2016. We did not. Unfortunately, Morata is not a world-class player, and Dani Ceballos is not a world-class player. They're just good enough to play.
I don't think we had Dani Ceballos in 16-17. But
we had 2018, right? Like we had, like James Rodriguez was good, right? Yeah.
I think the point about Morata is, like, although I dislike him very much these days, but in 16-17 he was approaching that level. So I think it's a bit disingenuous to say that.
Actually, I feel it's the same thing with this British players. Like when you go into a good system, like a winning system, you're allowed to flourish because you have a base to flourish upon, right? But the point is now that at that point in time, I am sure even if we had laced our boots and gone into that Real Madrid team in the 16th season, like in the 2016-2017 season, I feel we would have performed as well because the team was just playing at a different level. The team was a whole different beast.
For me, okay, for me, when it comes to Morata, the argument is this. The issue is that when he moved to London, he actually went through a personal tragedy. I think one of his closest friends died or something. So after that, he has not been able to cope mentally with the demands that have been put on him. I think if Morata had stayed on at Real Madrid instead of wanting to leave in 2016-17, I think his career would have turned out differently. But okay.
But more like, let's be honest,
about your
I don't bring the Chelsea thing into like Morata's issue because, like, I know about like his personal issue and like he could not adapt, and also the team, even his teammates were doubting him, so that's like a very huge thing actually. So the point is that what I'm trying to make is that Morata flourished at Juventus, right?
Yeah.
Morata flourished at Juventus as a second striker, not as the main man. He was playing off the likes of Carlos Tevez and Fernando Llorente, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't it so?
No, he was playing with Paulo Dybala. Morata was the target man.
Before he came back to Madrid.
About the 2015.
Before he came back to Madrid, he was playing.
He was playing along with Paulo Dybala.
Against us in the semis, right? In the quarters, I'm not sure whatever it was.
Was Tevez there? Was Carlos Tevez there in 2015?
Yeah, Tevez was there, right? Because they went to the final with Carlos Tevez, Paul Pogba, and these guys.
Okay. I'm not sure. I think Morata and Dybala used to play.
They went to the final with these guys, okay? So the point I'm trying to make is that even in his first stint at Juventus, like Morata wasn't like so all of a sudden, like Morata was good, but he wasn't the next level. You get my point? But anyway,
the thing is, man, like it's very hard to convince. I get your point. I get your point that we need like not world class, but a very decent striker who can get at least 15 goals.
With torn sheet of experience. My key thing is experience. To be honest, because like we just don't need people who are like battle-hardened strikers who played in the division. All this, like, no, that's not it.
I think the point is like with Chicharito, you said he had played at the highest level, but the thing is like he never started for Man United. It was always a substitute, And once he left Madrid,
strikers in Premier League history, man.
Sorry,
Chicharito. He was one of the greatest sub strikers in Premier League.
You could say him and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I think once he started starting at Bayer Leverkusen, I think he was not very good. With West Ham, he was not very good. So I think RDT, he has shown his ability to lead the line, and I think the way his play style is, he can come off the bench and make an impact. I think he okay, I agree that RDT is not the best of players, or the world class players around, but I think for Madrid he can do a job, especially given the fact that he has a history with us. But if Real Madrid don't decide to sign him, I'm not going to be very angry about it, because I know he has his limits.
We should, like, let's hope Jovic gets like his form back on track, and this is a turning point in his Madrid career. Let's hope that, because
the last time I hope it would be Luka Jovic's turning point was his loan at Frankfurt. I don't know how many of our viewers they have watched Luka Jovic at Frankfurt.
I watched him before his loan, his actual permanent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing is, when Luka Jovic went to loan at Frankfurt, the difference between Luka Jovic of Frankfurt and Luka Jovic of Madrid was the fact that Luka Jovic at Frankfurt was more free, and he had confidence to drop back. A lot of people think of Jovic as a penalty box striker when he's not. This guy, he has the ability to drop down deep, to play off of somebody, and he connect, like he did yesterday, connect players across the forward line to play with the midfield. But the thing is, he's not very good at taking the ball and driving. That's something that Benzema does very well. So the thing with Jovic is, at Frankfurt he was very confident in his abilities, and I think he was very confident in the environment. But at Madrid that was not the case. So when he came back to Madrid, I thought, okay, maybe this guy has gotten his confidence back. He has a new coach in Carleto, so maybe he can do well. But the thing is, the story has repeated itself again. Carleto doesn't trust him. Even in the first half, his movement was not there, and he was sort of struggling. He was fairly passive. He was failing to impose himself on the match. But that goal that Vini put in, where he played a 1-2 with Jovic, and then Jovic scoring the second goal, it totally changed the complexion of Jovic's personal play style. He started dropping deep. He had more confidence. Even his passes, you could feel those passes were made by a top league striker. So okay, we can have hopes with Jovic, but I want to see how he does in the upcoming games. And is he able to retain that confidence before?
There was one instance towards the end of the second half when I think we were defending a Sociedad corner, if I'm not mistaken, and then we had the chance to counter. And he noticed, I think it was Ferry on the right who didn't press, and he absolutely, gave him a earful. I haven't seen Jovic do that, because Jovic usually very reserved, very laid back, always it almost always looks like he doesn't care.
I think that point is he's not comfortable. Yesterday after scoring the second goal, he felt comfortable.
Yeah, that's refreshing, man. That's refreshing.
But I want to see this continue. I want to see this go on, because I think he's definitely going to start against Inter, because Benzema is not going to be back for the Inter game. From the latest update that I have read on Benzema, it's his injury is not serious. At the moment, they don't think it is serious. So there's a chance that he could be back for the Atleti game. But the Inter game is going to be very important for Jovic. He has to showcase the confidence that he showed, in yesterday's game. And
then I feel to be honest, I feel like, there's some players who are confidence players. For example, earlier today, I was just seeing the highlight of the game. I think it was between Venezia and Cagliari, I think. I'm not sure if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, it's Simeone's child, Simeone's son, Giovanni Simeone. Right? What I was just saying, Simeone has 10 goals in the league right now, right? But now I'm just remembering, this guy has scored, he's a confidence striker. He scored 4 in 1 game. He scored 2 in 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. Either 2 in 2 games and something like that. So literally, he scored 10 goals in 14 games, but he's only actually scored in 3 or 4 games. You get what I'm trying to say? So the point now becomes okay, if eventually Jovic becomes this kind of player, he's not going to get continuity at Real because he's competing for literally the best, okay, like maybe the second best striker in the world. Okay. So like he can't literally get continuity in this thing. And if he always needs to play like 2-3 games on the trot to get like continuity or like eventually score 2-3 goals before he can get into form in this, then I'm sorry, but he's at the wrong football club. Like that's just the thing, And that's why actually I was pointing out to like, we need an experienced striker who has been there and done it. That's why like I brought up the issue of Chicharito, and as you pointed to, he was a sub, so he knew the job, he knew the task, at United. So he knew what was required of him. But like, if the point is that Jovic, because Jovic will never get continuity. The point is, if Benzema is half fit, to be honest, I don't care what form Jovic in. Let's Benzema half fit. Let him die and we bury him there. It's okay. Like that's perfect, So I don't know. So
I think just to add to the point Farouk was making, even Jovic, Sunil, you said that you watched him before, his permanent stint at Frankfurt. He used to score a lot of goals in bunches, 4 goals in one game, 3 goals in another.
This is the point, This is the
he
point.
and Rebic used to tear it up.
Yeah.
And Rebic
don't forget Hala. Eh?
Yeah, exactly. It was Rebic, Hala, and this. And actually, it's also just to bounce off point. I really love like Sebastian Hala a lot. When he went to West Ham, but it just didn't work out, man. Really.
Yeah,
I really wish it.
He's
sometimes
amazing at Ajax.
Bad transfers. I don't know, like bad. You guys, because now he's back at Ajax and he's just tearing it up, man. He's tearing it up totally with Ajax, man. So I'm happy for him.
Let's move on from Jovic and the strikers. We have spent so much time on them. We should talk about some of the unsung heroes of yesterday. Casemiro had a few shocking turnovers in the first half, which is quite usual by his standards. But then he improved. Then he stepped up big time. He was rock solid. So big ups to Casemiro. And hope this continues, man. And
yesterday was the first time I actually liked Gil Manzano, because I usually hate that guy. And the fact that he did not give Casemiro
a second yellow,
was like, okay, I love this guy now.
Yeah, that was like, and actually I don't know, but I can't recall. Like I was trying to remember, like yesterday was like the first time I saw like Modric with the captaincy in La Liga. I couldn't recall if I had seen him before. Like
he had done it for maybe 10 minutes earlier. I think 2-3 games before yesterday. I think.
Yeah.
He will be armband for like 10-15 minutes.
So now I'm just kind of thinking against Inter, like Luka is the captain.
If he starts.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't start. So let's not delve into that again. Carvajal was very good. He was up and down, was putting in a good shift. Mendy was decent. Although his attacking output is still lacking. Rodrigo, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Mr. UCL. He always is very intense, And the thing that I like about him the most is that he's very direct. Like he is no nonsense in his driving runs. Some people hate it, which I don't get why. But yesterday I can understand the sentiment that he was very passive. He was doing just the normal stuff that anyone who would play right wing would do. He wasn't doing anything special, and he had a quiet game by his standards. I hope he steps up. And like, do you guys think Asensio will start against Inter?
I think Rodrigo is going to start.
I think it's alternating between those two guys. I think at the moment, like no one has a. I don't think no one has the role for himself just yet.
But do you think Rodrigo will start again?
No, I think Asensio will start actually.
Okay.
For me, it's Rodrigo. But before we move into that, I would just like to say that I think Carvajal, Mendy had brilliant defensive performances, and like Alaba and Militao was like something that we already addressed. He was phenomenal. Cruz had a good game, but I think the biggest takeaway was like initially when Benzema went off injured, our team sort of became disorganized. But in the second half, I think Carlo made some tweaks in the tactics in the dressing room, and I think when we came back, we were in command. Because I remember in the first half against La Real, we actually had less passes than them, so that was sort of surprising. But I think we have to appreciate the fact that Ancelotti was able to make the tactical changes that that made us improve in the second half, and the game management, as you said earlier in the video, it was phenomenal.
Actually, these days it just comes to me naturally. Like whenever I'm watching the game, I'm like, okay, just wait till the second half, something's gonna happen. Like whatever happens in the second, like it's been a trend so much this season. Like like even in the games where we're like winning in the first half, you see like there's a huge difference in the performance in the second half. Whatever happens, I don't know. Like for us, it's understandable because like as we pointed out earlier, like Benzema and Jovic are two different players. Like one is a penalty box, like a typical striker, and the other one is like just something else. So that's why it was logical for like the play to be disorganized because they could not change just while the game was going on and all that. So we won that. But other than that, I really just expect these things these days. Like the second half is just gonna be better. That's what I just always feel. Always when I'm watching. I don't know, man. Hopefully one day it's never too late for the second half.
Yeah, like can't deny how crucial yesterday was, man. Like I know it is is a very tough place to go. It's always a cauldron. People are up for it. So all the more reason we got some very crucial stats from yesterday. Militao made 10 clearances against Sociedad, the most by a Real Madrid player in a match this season in all competitions.
Yeah, Militao really stepped up yesterday. I have to agree on that, and I think the stats are just backing that up.
Yeah, I think that was pretty evident. Again, another very satisfying stat to read. Real Madrid are the first team with different players to score 10 plus goals in the top 5 European leagues this season. Benzema,
definitely.
Vinicius with 10. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Right? Who would have thought?
Maybe Benzema, but not Vinicius.
Yeah, that's the real eyebrow raising point. Next one, 0. Oh my God, Sociedad have failed to register a shot on target for the first time in La Liga this season.
Yeah, I thought like we were expecting more from Sorloth and Isaac and even Oyarzabal, and all of them were pretty ineffective in the second half.
Yeah.
You know what happened? From what little tactical nous I have, the reason why Isak and Sorloth played up top together was to capitalize on very evident deficiencies in dealing with aerial threat. And I noticed Isak was a man missing yesterday. Like, he had a couple of bright moments. He just shied away, man. I don't know. Like, I used to love the guy, and he was always hanging at the back post. Like, he just wanted to capitalize on some mistake someone else did. Like, he wasn't there to take the initiative.
Yeah, maybe that is why I maybe there is something that I fail to see with Alexander Isak, but I see some people rate him very highly, but for me, I don't know. I have never rated him that highly because maybe whenever it comes against us, his performance have never been to that level where I think, oh yeah, this guy could be a Real Madrid striker.
Real Madrid striker, man, that's a different breed. Like you can't class everyone as
Yeah, I agree with that.
Actually, I feel like with Isak, it's like, because I don't know, maybe you guys remember also, like, he was like a teen sensation, even like we were chasing him before he eventually went to Dortmund, and then, it didn't work out that much, and he came to Sociedad and all that. But like, I feel like, with him, it's just like, he needs the right environment. I feel like he has all the tools, just under the right environment with the right guidance, he can become something else.
I think it's the same issue with Jovic. He's not very, he doesn't impose himself on the game. He doesn't take the initiative.
Both of them look very, how can I put it? They both look very physically imposing. Like when you look at them, they look like pretty strong, but they rarely use it to their strengths. Like, they rely on some other stuff to help them navigate defenses. Like, I always thought, like, if Isak could improve his hold-up play, he is really good. Like, he has the pace. He has the burst of acceleration to get past people. So,
yeah, but they don't have the big. I don't think like Isak has that big game. That ability to step up in big games.
He's still young, man. He's still young.
So you know what? I don't know how many of you know, but like Stephen A. Smith, the guy always says he doesn't have the clutch gene in him. So maybe that's the thing. He doesn't have the big game moments in him.
The NBA guy, right? Stephen A.
Sorry.
The NBA guy, Stephen A?
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, the NBA guy.
Okay. Fair. Right. Another interesting stat. Okay, for all the Rodrigo haters out there, Real Madrid have avoided defeat in their 26 La Liga games with Rodrigo Goes as starter since 2019-20. Won 18, drawn 8. Now, isn't that surprising, boys?
Yeah, I like that. But I would be more happier if the number in the wins column was greater.
Like, there should be a reason why we.
That's just coincidence, man.
I don't think it's coincidence. Rodrigo plays a good part. Like, put some credit on the guy, man. Like
Yeah, and I'm not shitting on Rodrigo, but I'm just feeling like this start is like a coincidental start. It has nothing to do. I don't know. The guy is good. Like, actually, I feel like, as you pointed out earlier, actually, he's a direct guy and he does his defensive part of the job. So for me, I feel like he's okay. He's good enough. Well, I just feel like this stat is just like a coincidence, actually. I don't know.
Come on, man. Come on. Anyway.
Rodrigo's haters are hating on him. He's out supporting Croatia today at the Davis Cup, along with Luka Modric.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just did an interview, I think, with Movie Star.
Oh, okay. Nice.
He's living a good life.
Yeah, props to him, man. Another thing I love about Rodrigo, you know why I have this soft corner? I've seen so many interviews about him. It's almost like if I was good enough to play for Real Madrid and I ended up there, I would be exactly the same way he does interviews. Like whenever people ask him quizzes, questions, or anything, he knows everything, man. He knows every detail. Who scored on what day? Who scored the winning goal? How many goals were there? By how many goals did we lose? Like,
he's a fan,
yeah, he's a proper fan. Like Vinicius, you can see Vinicius was not really a Real Madrid fan. Obviously, you would be a fan of Cristiano and what he used to do at Madrid, but he wasn't a Madridista. But Rodrigo, in essence, is a proper Blanco. So anyway, another one final stat to round it off. Vinicius has a goal contribution every 88 minutes in all competitions this season. Again, very impressive.
Yeah, I think that just highlights his growth in the final third. His decision making has improved. His goal scoring has improved. So I think Vinicius with confidence is a different player.
Absolutely.
While we are on the topic of stats, I would like to present an interesting stat. Real Madrid, I think we are like 16 points ahead of Barcelona in the table.
Never a bad stat, that one.
Can we just share the screen to show the table just to physically?
Oh my god. Okay, so looking at the table, we are first on 39. Sevilla with the game in hand is on 31. Betis is third. Oh my god, Real Betis is third with 30. Atletico is fourth with the game in hand on 29. Sociedad is fifth on 29. Rayo is sixth on 27. Barca, oh my god, is seventh with 23, albeit with the game in hand.
Yeah, but I think Osasuna can equal them today if they win.
Yeah. They're drawing at the moment.
I think a few interesting things to point out from the table is the fact that Sociedad, they were leading the table like a couple of weeks ago, and now they're out of the Champions League spots. And that too, when they have a game like they have played an extra game again, like compared to likes of Sevilla and Atleti. I think the interesting thing is like Sevilla's game in hand is against Barcelona. So what do you think? What result would you guys want from that game? A draw?
I don't know, man. Yeah, a draw would be good.
Draw would be good, but I wouldn't mind a Barca win. Just so that the like what Thanos says, balance does everything should be. Like if Barca nick a point of Sevilla, it helps us all the lot more. But I saw the goal that they conceded. I watched some extensive bits of the first half. I was on and off between my work, but I still got some time to watch the game against Betis. They controlled it fairly well. Like I thought they would nick it. From what I see, at least on my eye test. They're so much better than Koeman's Barca. Like
Mhm.
Xavi's Barca has much more potency, in my opinion. They're much more like direct, a lot more direct than Coleman's Barca. So, man, the goal, Dest, Serginho Dest. I don't know what he was doing. Like he just slept off. Like proper FIFA dump AI defending. That was shocking, shocking.
I think
I was
I
gonna
think
thinking actually. The point was that actually to me, I just felt like Barcelona under Koeman, it was okay. Maybe Koeman was shit or whatever it was, but it was just more about like lapse in defense. Like someone loses the ball, someone is out of position, someone is, someone runs faster than someone. That's just what happens always. And as you just pointed out rightfully, like the goal was like, I don't know, it was like a training ground goal, like, like I can't recall. I think one missed call or something. I think what the winger came in, like he cut back, he gave the ball to someone. The person didn't shoot. He gave the ball to 1P and one miss. Like, it was just like, I don't know. To be honest, I haven't actually watched Barca like right out, but let's see, man. Let's see
I
against
think that just froze, man. Like as soon as he saw he had like couple of options. He could just shoot himself or just like pass it sideways for a simple tap in. He didn't know where to commit to. Like he just froze.
I think with Xavi, I think we have to give credit where it's due. I think
Yeah.
Xavi, first of all, has the let's say he has the standing within the club to make changes and take stands that other managers would not. The same thing that was with Zidane with us. I think
Yeah.
Xavi has that standing at Barcelona to do those things.
Mm.
And the other thing is like we have to agree is like Xavi did some good stuff in with Al Sadd. So
Yeah.
that's probably showing with Barcelona.
He's more of a people's man. Coleman used to piss off, whoever he wanted. Like he would just wake up one fine morning. Oh, I'm gonna piss off this chick, this guy, the
Yeah.
waiter.
I think Ronald Koeman, he has a history of falling out with his players. So
Yeah.
I don't know how he went, how he went along with players at Barcelona. But Xavi, he is like he has that let's say he has that standing to ask for things in the Barcelona dressing room. And I think
Yeah.
Barcelona has some good kids in Nico and who's the other guy, Gavi, right? Yeah, they have some good kids coming up, so that
actually,
helps.
the point is this,
Michael
like
Mack,
when you're saying like, okay, like Xavi has a good standing, but like Koeman wasn't a shitty player himself. Koeman, if I'm not mistaken, was the European Cup winning captain at Barca as well, right?
Yeah, Koeman is actually the guy who scored the goal that won Barcelona the
Exactly.
first
Koeman is
European
like
Cup.
a very high scoring defender. Like I could recall, like he was on penalties, he was on free kicks and all these things. Like Koeman also was a very good, was
but
a very
he
good.
wasn't exactly part of this generation. Nah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was.
My point is eventually, like no matter how good you are as a coach, you're only as good as your players are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
at some point Xavi is going to get found out as well because the players are the same that Koeman had. But the thing is, like Xavi's standing comes from the fact that he was great recently, whereas Koeman was great in 1992. So there has been quite some time in between, So their standing has diminished a bit. It's the same thing. Let's say when you go to, let's take the example of our subreddit. When you go there, not many people understand the standing that Raul has in the club, and people think that Zidane has a greater standing at the club than Raul. Well, I would disagree. So there
Yeah.
is that thing, not
that's
everybody.
not
that,
even a topic. I mean, it's not something to disagree about, to be honest, because like Raul is a born and bred Madrista, man.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Some player like Xavi is their version of Raul. He came from their academy. He was their captain. So I think
He was in Atletico's academy. If you guys didn't know that.
Raul.
Yeah,
Man, he was there when he was 13. Okay, that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. He was there like before even he was there when he was a boy, man.
But adding to Sunet's point, his father, like Raul's father, is a big Atleti fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raul, I think he came from San Cristobal, and I think that is like Atleti hotbed. We nicked one there, good one.
So moving on.
I get the point about the recency bias, man. I get the point about the recency bias. Anyways, man, let's see what happens eventually, because I just feel like the point is, we can understand the situation. Let's say, for example, like we can give an example with Manchester United. You can feel like, okay, maybe United are not as good at like Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, but for sure they are better than West Ham. So they shouldn't be below West Ham in the table. But the point now is that you come and you try to compare the teams of Sevilla and Barcelona. or the teams of Sociedad and Barcelona. And to be honest, like you just find some outliers there. Like you can't honestly, like honest to God, say, okay, like this team is much more better than this. You know, so
that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
So I don't know, man. Let's just see what he does. I hope he succeeds, man. So at least we can have proper El Clásicos and enjoy some good.
Oh man, I hope he really gets Barcelona. I don't really care. Maybe Castilla gets promoted and we can have El Clásicos in the Segunda.
But actually, I read some while back that you can't have two teams in the same like division.
No, like our Castilla and Barcelona in the Segunda.
Okay. I get you.
Barca won't ever get relegated, so yeah, let's keep that aside.
Just one point before we move on. I think we need to give big props to Rayo. This is a team that came up because of qualification.
Yeah.
They actually finished 6th in Segunda last season, but they won the promotional playoffs.
Yeah.
And now I think they're the highest ranked team of all the teams that came up, and their play has been really amazing. Like previous Rayo sides, they would attack and not defend. But I think this one under Andoni Iraola.
I remember the game 10-2 or something, right?
Yeah, under Paco James.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, but I think this Rayo side, they know how to defend and they know when to attack. So I think Iraola has done an incredible job with them. And one player who we should not forget is their left back, Fran Garcia, who used to be our Castilla player.
Oh yeah,
maybe in the future he could be one coming back. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Yeah. Rayo is a good team. Betis, Sevilla, usual suspects. Betis, I never thought they would be doing this well, but yeah.
I think Betis has taken advantage of the fact that Atleti has struggled a bit. And apart from that, Villarreal has struggled as well. And Pellegrini is a good coach.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, really, Pellegrini is a good coach, and I think Pellegrini doesn't get the respect he deserves. Even in England, he won the league, but still, like it's just like he won because Liverpool slipped and stuff like that. But I feel like he was, because I think he was the 99-point coach as well, right?
Yeah.
Was it 99-point coach, right? The one like he was the highest, he was the best second place finish in the history of La Liga. So
yeah,
it wasn't easy, man. Like playing against the Barcelona teams those days. So. But anyways, man, I'm happy he's back and he's doing well. Because, he went to West Ham and it was a bust at West Ham as well, so it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Glad to see him back here.
So, moving on, we have a huge game on Tuesday against Inter. To begin with, fuck Inter. Okay.
Yeah, this guy's a Milan fan, right?
Yeah, and all of their interests, they can go into hiding very soon. Although they're doing very well in Syria, I don't see them, going past the round of 16 in the Champions League. They have a very well balanced team this time around, and a coach to back it. With our Inzaghi's brother, who is Simeone Inzaghi, he has a knack of nicking results, but his European record is shambolic. So. I don't have much hope in them going very far into the knockout stages. But on Tuesday they'll have a proper threat. They'll be coming to the Bernabeu with revenge on their mind. And what do you guys think about their team? Who do you think is
first of all, I think we have to handle the fact that Simeone Inzaghi has done a good job. Like people did not expect that he would do as good a job replacing Conte as he has done, because I think they are just 1 point behind Milan.
I expected it because you know why? Because they both play.
I agree, because the point I was trying to make, I was gonna complete it off with, was the fact that I think Simeone Inzaghi is one of the underrated coaches in the world, because he did a good job with Lazio. And
exactly.
So I think Inter are 1 point behind Milan, right, in the standings. Yeah, so I think Simeone Inzaghi has done an incredible job, especially given the fact that they lost Lukaku and Hakimi. So and the players that he has brought in Joaquin Correa and I think Denzel Dumfries, they have done well. Although I'm not sure how good Dumfries is, despite the fact that ESPN ranked him 8th as 8th best right back in the world over Carvajal. I don't know how that happened. ESPN does not know football at all. So, but the thing is, Dumfries is a little bit up and down, but the other side, I think, with the Perisic and Bastoni has really stepped up this season.
Yeah.
And I think even Edin Dzeko is a threat, especially in the air.
Joaquin Correa, Edin Dzeko, Martinez, they have plenty of firepower. Dzeko, very seasoned veteran.
And you cannot forget that guy that Milan fans hate, Hakan Çalhanoğlu.
I don't want to talk about him, but since you brought it up, like if you ever want to buy anything made of snake leather, you could probably visit the store.
Wow! Holy!
You could just probably visit the store.
Actually, I could not really understand what happened with Hakan like at Milan, because I felt like he was like a key player and he was playing well and they liked him, he liked them. Then what happened all of a sudden and he went to Inter?
I think the breakdown in contract negotiations was down to the fact that he wanted a bigger contract. Contract, an extra couple of years and more money, and we weren't willing to do that. He was always a one-off player. Like, he would have like a brilliant moment in a couple of games, and then he would be completely missing for like 6 games straight.
He scored from the corner over the weekend.
Yeah, he scored on the corner yesterday.
He has moments like this, but I wouldn't bank on him to carry any team in the world ever. Like it's almost like Giroud. Like if you people used to say, right? Like if you show
what happened to Giroud? Is he playing? I don't think he's playing.
Giroud is injured at Milan, right?
Giroud, I don't think he's injured. I think he came back to fitness and he was actually stepping in instead of Ibra, at least a couple of weeks ago. But since then, Ibra has been consistently starting.
Okay.
Giroud has done a good job, man. Like, I can't slate him anymore. I used to slate him enough when he was at Arsenal and when he used to play for Chelsea, and he did that whole celebration when he won the Europa League against us and whatnot. But yeah, he's been doing good. But yeah, coming back to Hakan, very on and off player. Like, if you show his like compilation to someone, like they would think he's a 3-time Ballon d'Or winner. Very flattering to deceive.
Yeah.
You know what? If this was Star Wars, we would say the hate is strong in that one.
Yeah, hate is very strong. I can't deny it.
But I think Sunil made a good point about Hakan. I think he's a little bit inconsistent. When he first broke out at Leverkusen, I expected more from him. Exactly. I expected that he would go to a higher level than he has. But even then, he's always a threat on set pieces, Hakan.
Actually, the point is, I think Hakan is just one of those players we're talking about. He's a streaky player because now I think he scored in 3 consecutive or 4 consecutive games for Inter in Serie A, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he has 4 goals in the last 4 games or something.
Exactly. So like he's a streaky player. So that's the kind of person. And actually, for me also, like I feel like Hakan is like a very one-dimensional player. I feel like if he doesn't have he's not the guy who's gonna beat. He's not the guy who's gonna run past people. He just knows how to, he needs just space. Like, he needs to find space to trade in passes. Or he needs the ball to be, fixed. As you said, like a set piece. So he needs, a ball which is, not moving. He needs, a ball which is stopped. And then he can hit it very good. I think, in hitting, non-moving balls, Hakan is one of the best in Europe, actually. But, you can, the game is always moving. So you can't, just keep stopping the ball and hitting it that way.
Athleticism is like the lad you might see in an Irish pub taking pints. So his athleticism is very poor. He can score a goal from the edge of the penalty box. Like he has a good shot in him.
Actually, here in Turkey, because I went to the last Turkish game the last qualifier they played at home. It was against Gibraltar. Actually, they scored 6 goals if I'm not mistaken. And literally everyone was waiting. Even in the game, Hakan could not make good corners or he wouldn't make good shots, And all Turkish people are just okay, we see this guy for Leverkusen, we see him for Milan, we see him for Inter, and he can't replicate what he does there on the international stage, So this is one dilemma actually that of course every Turkish football fan is always wondering, okay, when will the Hakan of Europe show up in Turkey? He plays in top European competitions, but he's never shown up in Turkey actually. So I just feel it goes back to the issue of being a streaky player. So when he gets into the team, he gets used to them, and then he goes on a streak, as Sunay said, and then for the next 6-7 games, he's off.
He's missing. He's
that's just.
But I think Inter's strongest point is their defense, right?
Yeah.
Bastoni, Skriniar, and I think Stefan de Vrij is not fit, but will he be back for Real Madrid?
I don't think so. He's been out for a bit, if I'm not mistaken. Like he has.
Yeah, I think he's been out since the international break.
Yeah. Like I've been keeping a close eye on them because I have to. And I haven't seen him featuring. Yeah, like you said, after the international break. Yeah, the defense, like even Perisic, you know, on left wing back, whenever he plays there, like he has been phenomenal. Brozovic in midfield as a tank. They have a lot of very good players, man. Even DiMarco when he
Barella,
comes.
man, we're forgetting someone very important, bro. Nico Barella.
So Barella, of course, that's the obvious one. Like, yeah, like
He's a
I
very
love the
good-
guy. He's the only guy I love. And then the team, you know, like he's
Just
just
like Bastoni, man. I was actually hoping we get Bastoni once upon a time.
Yeah,
Like,
I
last season-
still hope that we get Bastoni.
Oh.
We can pry him up from Inter.
Like I loved Bastoni a lot, man. I watched him last season.
Yeah, you know the thing is like whenever I go to the shop, I see a lot of people wanting Skriniar, but I think Bastoni is one player that would really help us because he's good in the air. He is left-footed. He has an eye for the pass, and he's pretty good
Exactly.
defensively on the ground. So
Exactly. That's what I like. The pass, actually, the passing range he has, you know. Because actually, there's this guy also. I don't know. Maybe you guys noticed as well. Like Bonucci at Milan. Like his passes are like wow.
yeah.
Sorry, I said Bonucci at Milan. Bonucci at Juve. Like his passes are like wow. Like he has a very good passing range on him, man. Like his passes are wow, exquisite.
Yeah, but I think the thing with Bonucci is that his defense is not to that level, you know, because like Bonucci as a passer is like exceptionally world class. Bonucci as a defender, I wouldn't call him like at the very world class level, but he's like a level below that. But I think with Bastoni, is like he's good at passing, he's good at defending.
he's only 22, eh?
Yeah, he's only 22.
Yeah. He's 23 actually, I think, right?
I think it's 22.
22.
Oh, no, man, you're making such a controversial statement about Bonucci, man. Man, are we talking about the same Leo Bonucci? Okay, I can agree. Like these days, he's not as he used to be. But man, Bonucci.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree if somebody told me that Bonucci, Berzagli, and Chiellini was like one of the greatest backlines of all time, and I agree with that. But I think Chiellini and Berzagli are better defensively than Bonucci, and I don't think that is very controversial to say.
Okay, yeah, they are better than him defensively, but like that doesn't take anything.
Like even at Milan, I think Bonucci struggled a little bit defensively.
That's what I was gonna say. Like when Bonucci went to Milan, he was shit. He didn't struggle a little bit. He was pure shit.
Here's another thing I don't want to mention. So there's snakes everywhere.
Okay, but ignoring that, I think Bastoni is one of the players that we should be looking at if there's a possibility to sign him.
These are the people we should be looking at, man. Bastoni and Barella.
Yeah, I think with Nico Barella, the thing is like Hakimi's departure has impacted them a little because I was going through some of the Inter fans' opinions, and I think they are a little bit disappointed with how Barella has come up this season, you know, because they expected more from him, and I think he hasn't performed. But then I think Barella
Still has 1 goal and 5 assists, man. Not bad for a midfielder. Not bad.
No, actually, I think what Mo was trying to point out is that because like he played on the same side with Hakimi together, okay?
I understand.
So like there was this dovetailing between them both, like you know, just not the output, actually just the gameplay itself entirely.
Yeah.
And right now, like you know, Dumfries is just new, so he's getting used to the I don't know.
And I think Dumfries a little bit
System is a
inconsistent.
bit different, actually, if I'm not
He
mistaken.
is inconsistent.
Yeah, I think Barella has the quality. There's no doubting his potential. But the thing is, like, there's a game beyond the stats, and I think Barella has not been the same player, you know, at the same very high level that he was performing last season. So, but you know, you can never underestimate him, because tomorrow he might come out and score a wonder goal.
Yeah, he was one of the big reasons why we won. We, as in Italy, won the Euro. Because he was sensational, and I'm pretty sure he'll be back to his very best very soon. And I hope it's not in Europe and in Syria. I hope it's just maybe in the Coppa Italia. Anyhow, Dzeko, we gotta watch out for Dzeko, man. Like,
I think Dzeko is always a threat.
Yeah,
he's always a threat, man.
The way he moves, you might think he might just stumble and fall on his feet. You know, like he moves so awkwardly. He turns like a truck. I think his turn radius is like just 40 degrees. That's it. You know, just very rigid.
Yeah,
he can poach a goal or two. So, gotta be wary. our aerial deficiencies will be put to the test very much.
And we'll find out how much the Sociedad, defensive solidity is for real. We'll find out against Inter.
Yeah, absolutely. All the fancy stats and whatnot is fine until the next game kicks off on Tuesday. I hope.
And I want to see how Jovic does.
Yeah, against a very, very solid back line, what Jovic can do.
So I guess we should see what our predictions are for the game. I would take a draw. I would take a draw.
Same here, man. I'm taking a draw. Nothing too fancy.
I'll take a draw. I know a draw is enough, but we should be ruthless and just go for the throat. I don't want to go against Inter.
I mean, just game, like, how should I say it? Like, control, control. Just hold control of the game and hope to defeat Atleti at the weekend, man. That's just it. Like, it's an inconsequential game. You win, you draw, so the outcome is same. Just draw and hope you don't beat PSG in the next round. That's just it.
To
be honest, like, I just feel it's unfair. Like, how can we like finish first and most likely play PSG in the next round? How is that even possible?
I mean, I wouldn't mind PSG. They aren't very good.
Okay, I also don't mind PSG, but the point is that you have players who can individually decide games, and the truth is like,
I agree.
Like, no matter how good like your game plan is, these are people who destroy game plans. Even if they're like shit and they're off form and anything, just one single moment of brilliance and it's game over.
And I don't want to see Hakimi play against Real Madrid again. That is really sad.
Oh my God!
Against us will be like a weak point to exploit. It's like playing against Trent Alexander-Arnold. Okay, he's gonna hurt you, but there's a chance you can hurt him as well, man.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, actually. That's the thing. The thing I don't even want is playing against Ramos, man. That would be so awkward, man.
Ramos got injured again, eh? Oh,
Ramos got injured again. I don't know what's up with him at Paris.
I think it's just. I don't think it's like very serious. It's just a minor thing. So probably he'll be back midweek against. I think they're playing Club Brugge, right?
Club Brugge?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not sure about that. Anyways, whatever they're playing, they're already second, so shame on them for being second, actually.
But yeah, if you finish first, you can at least avoid Bayern and City. And maybe
I know, obviously, but I mean, at least of course, not just even them, you can avoid Liverpool and Chelsea as well, man. So that's also a very huge thing.
Imagine this team being tested against Bayern City. Oh my God, the wake-up calls.
Or we're gonna eventually get tested against them. Hopefully, if we get like.
But the Bayern's backline is pretty,
pretty easy. I get it, but they have the firepower up top to dismantle anybody.
Yeah, I think Alaba could slip something to Lewandowski. They're friends after all.
Yeah, maybe they could just Alaba could invite him for dinner the previous night and do some salt-based stuff. That's the only way I see us doing a number on Bayern at the moment.
To be honest, I think the team I fear the most would be City.
Oh, definitely, and definitely.
It's because City is the one team that although they don't have a striker, it's a team which is much more balanced, that you actually find it difficult to exploit, the midfield or the defense, something like this. But for Liverpool, eventually their high line, you can just run past it if you have good passes and fast players, and you have Vinicius and Toni Kroos for this. And also
their pressing would kill our midfield, and they would just suffocate them.
Would kill for sure, but we've seen the blueprint, like Brighton, West Ham. They've shown that these things can be done.
I think facing Liverpool will be dependent on our fitness, how we perform. If we're able to go relatively fresh against Liverpool, I think it would be easier. But if we go tired, like last season when Kroos and Modric were dead by the middle of April, I don't think we could beat Liverpool.
Man, what we're gonna do against Liverpool is what we did against Shakhtar, a 1-4, double 4.
Yeah.
That's just it. Otherwise, there's no team who can play Liverpool in the expansive way.
Sunil has a good point. To exploit Liverpool's weakness, you need Kroos and Modric on top form.
Yeah, this is.
If they're not, we can't win against Liverpool. But the thing is, City, our biggest advantage will be the fact that I think Carlo inflicted the biggest home defeat that Pep has ever had in Europe, like 4-0.
I couldn't even watch the game I just read Guardian's, live commentary on my phone. I still remember it. Oh my God. I still remember everyone around me was sleeping. It was like 2 a.m. In India. It was mad.
I actually remember
Like-
watching that game. Because
That game, to be honest,
What?
okay, Gareth Bale didn't score and all that, but I really loved Gareth Bale's work rate in that game. He was like a mad dog, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Bale was just all over, man. He was
And
he was
even
putting in the
defensively.
shift, man. And you could even sometimes you could even assume that this guy was a right back, but he was putting the shift, man. Wow.
What are you talking about? I didn't catch that.
I was saying, Gareth Bale in the game against Bayern,
Bale.
he put in a proper shift.
I think
Like,
2013-14 Bale is the best Bale that we have had. But
Exactly, man. Really, to be honest, then he was wow.
But even then, you have to highlight how well Carvajal played, especially against the Betty. That was the moment you stood up and said, "Yeah, Carvajal is a world class right back." And our right back position settled till the fact that we found out that he's very injury prone.
Mm.
The
Also,
good old
since we
days.
mentioned, sorry, Farooq, since we mentioned Bayern, I gotta get this in, man. I think on Wednesday, Bayern play Barca, and if Barca doesn't win it, they end up in Europa League.
I think Benfica has to win against Kiev.
No,
Benfica will win against the.
Benfica will win against Kiev most likely, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They didn't win the return fixture. They drew with Kiev.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, don't count your chickens before they hatch, okay?
Oh, okay. That was
Let
premature.
Lewandowski do the job. Don't worry. The rest is no.
So wait, so even if Barca loses and Benfica loses, Barca will go through, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, Benfica is playing away at home. Do you have any idea?
I think they're away. Let me check.
Barca is away for sure.
If Benfica is in Portugal, then we can back Benfica to defeat Dynamo Kiev. Because Kiev is playing for nothing.
Benfica is home.
Yeah, Benfica is in Portugal and Kiev is playing for nothing because Kiev cannot even qualify for Europa League. So yeah, my money is on Benfica, baby, and then Bayern Munich should do the job.
Let's hope.
And here come Europa League on Thursday. And when we make podcasts, we can just make a fourth screen and we can be showing the Barca game.
Okay, guys, I think
things will be much more entertaining if Barca.
Yeah, definitely. I think on that note, we should probably be ending because our time is running out.
Yeah. Let's call it. So final predictions. I go with the 2-1 against Inter.
I'll take a draw, but I hope we win.
Yeah, I hope we win too. I don't want to.
1-1 draw as well, man. 1-1 draw.
Yeah, the wildest prediction is Rodrigo gets a hat trick. 3-0.
Mr. UCL. I hope he steps on. Love the guy. So I think that's about it, people. Until we are back again after the Inter game, and the next one is even bigger, the El Derby. So yeah, best of luck to the team, and I hope Benzema returns ASAP. Hala Madrid, boys.
Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.